Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new episode of the Athletes Roundtable. This podcast is brought to you by Athletes Productions. I'm Jordan.
I'm Will.
And today we have on Iona baseball player
Bobby Lasbury.
So could you just give us a brief background of yourself, like your grade, hometown, major?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a junior here at Iona. I just transferred in from UConn Avery Point. I'm from Southington, Connecticut, and my major is psychology.
Definitely. You talk about transferring. So how was that whole process? What led you to Iona? Talk about that.
Yeah, it was definitely not an easy process. It definitely took 2 years. I was at UConn Avery Point for 2 years. They're a junior college. But yeah, I mean, this past spring, I had a pretty good season, luckily. That was nice. But I was fortunate to talk to like different schools, tour some different schools in the Connecticut area, New York, Massachusetts. But ultimately, I got on a tour here in around like May, and I got to meet with the coaches, met a couple players, and got to see the school itself. And driving from leaving that tour with my dad, I pretty much knew I was like, okay, like this is where I want it to be. Like there's good people here. This will help me like for the next 2 years get where I want to be.
Mm-hmm. So you talk about like Avery Point. What is that like different from UConn? Or are they like separate or?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've had to explain that a couple times throughout my life, a lot of times actually. So so UConn, Avery Point, I was a part of UConn. I was a full UConn student. I had many of the perks that you get at the main campus, but I was at a regional campus. UConn has, I believe it's 5 different regional campuses: Hartford, Waterbury, Stanford, and then Avery Point. And so Avery Point is they have an athletics program there, and they have men's and women's basketball, and then a baseball team, which I participated on for 2 years. Yeah.
What is your position on the baseball team?
I'm a pitcher.
Mm-hmm. And then how did you get into baseball?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for most people, like, you know, right, they start playing at 5 years old. They play t-ball. That's kind of how it started for me. You know, I played Little League. My dad actually, he played professionally, so he kind of, you know, I had that passion from him in a sense. Like we love baseball. My family, we've been to 29 different MLB stadiums. Like baseball hasn't been my life, but it's been a big part of my life. So it's just, I've always enjoyed anything really around baseball. Yeah.
Being from Connecticut, what team you're behind? What's your team?
I'm a Yankee fan.
Yeah.
You know, by
Let's
trade.
go.
I was, you know, born and raised a Yankee fan. But in Connecticut, it's split. There's, you know, like my mom was a Red Sox fan growing up, so like you kind of get that mix of, you know, Yankee and Red Sox fans.
So going back to your transition from your other school into Iona, can you like give us a brief background of like how it all went and stuff?
Yeah, so I can honestly start from high school. Like, when I was a senior in high school, I wasn't, I guess, heavily recruited by many schools. There were some options like Division III, but the coach at Avery Point, who's no longer there, he kind of saw me play over the COVID summer, 2020. And even for my class, I graduated in 2021. It was kind of hard for like kids to get recruited because of the whole stuff with like eligibility. Like schools weren't looking at kids in high school. Even now, it's pretty difficult. But that led me to go to Avery Point, you know, because I knew for 2 years that I'd be able to like, you know, play right away, get playing time, you know, time to develop in like a smaller group of guys. We only had like 30 guys on our team. And yeah, so like the process itself, my freshman year, you know, not much went on with recruiting. I kind of just played a season, just kind of got a little bit better. And then, you know, my sophomore year, like essentially a year ago from this time, like all, you know, my peers, all the kids that were sophomores on the team, like it was pretty much stressful for like 9 months because we were going into that sophomore fall not knowing where we'd be in a year from there. So like that was definitely a struggle, like every day having to just email schools, get video at practices, get video in my bullpens, and then even like people, you know, you have to have good stats. So it's like come the spring season, you know I'm not going to be there next year. I got to go find a new school. It's like that's kind of in the back of your head. Like, you know, you got to have good stats to go. You know, coach is not going to take you if you have 9 ERA. So that also just kind of played in the back of my head. But I kind of just put that stuff aside and just was like, you know what, I'm going to do my best and see if I can play at a higher level afterwards. And I guess I'm here now. So, yeah, it was definitely not an easy process. But yeah, my coach too helped reach out to schools and put a good word in for me. So
What made you choose Iona?
definitely a couple different reasons. One being that, it's Division I. That means I can compete at the highest level. Like I just wanted to challenge myself. Like nothing against like any other level of baseball. Like through all levels, like I played 2 years of junior college. Like through all levels of college baseball, there's good players. But that was definitely one of the parts of my decisions that I want to compete against, talented people, talented teams. Like I want to challenge myself in my potentially last 2 years of baseball. Kind of throw it all out there. The coaches, they're great people. Just sitting down, talking with them on my tour, and then even day to day, just being with them, like they understand like what the game's about, and even too they kind of understand the pitcher who I am. Like quite honestly, I don't throw 90. Like I don't pound the fastball in there with high velo like most guys do, but they recognize that I had an ability to pitch. I'd like to think I know how to pitch, but they recognize that, and our values kind of aligned with like that. So that was also a big part of it, because some other schools, it's like I went on these tours and they just kind of don't fully know about you. Like they're like, oh, just come join our program, be another guy on a roster. Didn't really feel like that here.
Yeah, you talked about going to 29 different MLB stadiums. Is there a standout from any of the bunch, or?
Yeah, I have definitely an appreciation for all of them. Like, people I've been to like Oakland and like Tampa Bay, like obviously like those like, suck, whatever. But like there's like, I appreciate that. It's different that like professional baseball is played in a random ballpark. But definitely my favorite, I'd have to be in between, surprisingly, Fenway Park, even though I'm a Yankee fan.
Fenway Park is so nice.
It's really cool, and I've seen some like cool. I've been to a lot of games there, so there's just a lot of good memories from that stadium. And then San Francisco, the Giants, their stadium is very nice.
I went to Fenway Park for my brother's 21st birthday party, and it was like the stadium itself was so cool. It's like there's no like one bad seat in the stadium. It's awesome.
Well, there might be a bad seat, but some of them like you definitely. Obviously, the views are great, but like there's some seats like there's obstructed views. Like you might be in front of a pole, but
but like how old it is too, like it's insane.
Yeah, just the fact like every time you walk into Fenway Park, for me, it's like wow, like this is cool, and especially too like even outside like the Boston area, like they're all into their sports there. So like outside of Fenway Park, it's like it's a party going on. It's just a good feeling.
Yeah,
very historical. I feel like, especially like. I mean, I think when I think Boston sports, I think like historical, like Celtics, it's keeping with the old jerseys. I mean, when Boston came out with those new jerseys, the bright yellow ones, I was like, wow, like this is something new.
Yeah,
those are cool.
Yeah, those are definitely cool because the Boston Marathon, it represents that. Like, obviously, that's a huge thing for that city. So I'm not a huge fan of the City Connects, they're called, those jerseys, but the Boston ones are pretty cool, those yellow ones.
I am a Yankee fan myself, but my roommate Liam, he's a big Boston sports fan, and he has that yellow Boston jersey, and it was like so cool that like I just had to wear it one day, and everyone like looked at me so weird because they know I'm a Yankee fan. But that jersey is so cool.
Yeah, and even like I shared, like I'm a Yankee fan, but like I'm definitely like a baseball fan. Like I've been to like these different ballparks, and I'll usually like get a hat, get something cool, Like right now, I've been wearing my Texas Rangers hat. It's like a baby blue color. Like they're doing well. I guess I'll throw it on. Like, yeah, no, definitely. Like, there's cool apparel out there.
I feel like baseball definitely has like an aesthetic to it and like a following where you can respect your team, still be a fan, but wear other memorabilia because of like a fashion icon to it, or like a moment tied to it or something. Yeah. So I feel like baseball has a lot of respect in that terms.
Yeah, I definitely share that. There's some probably diehards that would never, wear other teams' jerseys, but I think I have that just appreciation for baseball. Just so I enjoy it.
Like my dad would like never ever wear like a Red Sox something or like any other team because he's like so diehard Yankees.
Yeah, like even this past summer, I was at the Field of Dreams in Iowa.
Really?
That was pretty sick. That I got to do that, and my grandfather was a Red Sox fan. And he has this like nice 4th of July Red Sox hat, and I like wore that there, even though I'm a Yankee fan. Like I probably shouldn't be saying that. I'll catch some heat from Yankee fans, but that's just kind of my feeling with that stuff too.
What team do you think has the coolest logo or like the best jerseys?
I think I like the baby blue. Like when a team does like their alternate uniforms. Like I think the St. Louis Cardinals honestly have pretty cool uniforms. It's just a classic team. You know, they've been around. They're historical. They wear some nice baby blue. They have like a cream colored jersey. I feel like every team now, even in every sport, they have so many different alternates. Like there's just so many different color schemes.
Yeah. What do you think of the Yankees putting that sponsorship on their jerseys?
You know, it's funny. Like, end of the day, it's like sports are a business. Like, you know, how much I don't like it. Like, I do not like that. I think the Yankee uniform is prestigious. Shouldn't have the Nike on it. Shouldn't have
that like star thing or whatever.
Yeah. Shouldn't have whatever it is. I don't know what the sponsor is exactly, but you know, sports are a business. You know, the Yankees I think got like $20 million for putting those patches on the jerseys. Like, of course they're gonna do that. Yeah. But as a fan, like, I don't like it. But I think unfortunately, it's like stuff like that is just gonna start slowly like sliding into the game.
It's like, didn't Mr. Beast just buy some branding on like the Charlotte Hornets?
I
for
saw
Beast
that.
Bars
like
or something.
That's just gonna be a common thing now. Like where these companies are just, you know, give a team a certain amount of dollars and then they get their logo on a jersey. It's just it's a normal thing in sports. It's like, you know, you just got to get used to it, I guess. Yeah. Not a fan of it.
Just like NASCAR.
Yeah. Going back to you playing baseball though, what's your favorite and least favorite part of baseball?
I mean, my favorite part is just being out on the mound competing. That's why I still do it. Like, you know, there's no better feeling just being out there and just like helping your team win. Like, it's just a great feeling going out there, getting guys out. That's definitely the best part. And then even I like being around the guys in the dugout. Like, that's always fun too. Least favorite? Getting hurt. I've gotten hurt. I'm actually hurt right now. I've had some setbacks, you know, throughout my baseball career. So that's definitely not fun about baseball. It's like just injuries.
Especially like that long of a season too. It's like, I feel like it does like suck, but like people are like bound to get hurt. I feel like a lot more in baseball than any other sport.
Yeah, definitely. It's a 162 game season. Like people are bound to get hurt. It's the guys that can stay on the field that, you know, usually do the best.
What type of pitcher are you? Closer? Do you start?
I'd say I'm pretty much like a reliever now. You know, and most people are, you know, starting pitchers. I still feel like I could do that, but pretty much my role at Avery Point was coming in, like closing. It started off as like relief, just kind of like getting outs, getting innings, and then last year I definitely got to close out a lot of games, and that's fun. But yeah, I mean, I'd say mainly I'm probably a relief pitcher of sorts. But over this past summer, like I started a bunch of games. Like I went like 5 innings, so I still can do that, I guess.
Do you have a preference, like being a starting pitcher or being a reliever?
No, I'd definitely say not. I just whenever whenever my name gets called to go out there and gets outs, it doesn't matter what inning it is, honestly. Like I just kind of lock in a sense and just go. I don't care either way, really.
Do you have any pregame rituals like before you step on the mound? Yeah,
I definitely have like a certain routine, and that goes for just like, you know, practices and games. Like I'm very consistent, like with what I eat, how I hydrate, and then once it comes game day, I mean, I'll do like just meditation. Like I want to just be as relaxed as possible. Because like mainly I've been a reliever, so it's like I'll be sitting there for, you know, X amount of innings, watching the game unfold, and you know I just gotta, you know, stay ready. It's definitely tough, but yeah, I mean I'll just kind of do this. It's a little weird, but it's just like meditation in a sorts, relax, hydrate. I like certain like Gatorade bars like that. Those are my favorite. I'll just kind of gradually eat that over the game. But yeah, I'm definitely like, there's nothing crazy that I do like special that I can think of, but it's just definitely a very consistent routine.
Run us through like a daily schedule on an off day where you're just training, and then a schedule where you have a game.
Yeah, so like right now I shared I'm hurt, so it's a little bit different, but for the most part, like right now in our fall season, we like I wake up, like I'll eat whatever, and I go to the field. I'll usually just start with like like different like types of mobility, just get moving around. Most people do that. Most pitchers kind of just get the blood going. And then we have like a team stretch. And then from that, everybody kind of goes into like their focus for the day, like whether, you'd be throwing a bullpen, a long toss, like working on pickoffs, first and thirds, like just different things like that. There's a focus for the practice. For me, it's, kind of sucks, but I have not been able to be a part of that. I've just been getting rehab on my lat, which I hurt. But, yeah, so like I'll wake up, go to practice, usually go to lunch, and then a bunch of classes right after that. Like it's stressful, but my day is just from like the moment I wake up to like 7 p.m. It's in baseball and school, which I enjoy. I'm not complaining. Like it's definitely good. I like the routine of it. But yeah.
From JUCO to D1 now, is there a big difference in like what you're doing every day, like the intensity of the workouts?
Yeah. For me myself, like those 2 years at JUCO, like I definitely held myself to a standard of like doing the right things, like working out, all that stuff. So it's not like anything was thrown off to me like getting here in terms of just like doing the right things and learning things. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, at Avery Point, I don't mean to diminish it or anything, but like there's just not enough what's the right word? Like just there's not enough like support in a way. Like at the funding, like here obviously it's Division I. Iona's doing well, great as a school. Like, they got this great basketball program that's grabbing so much attention. But like at Avery Point, there was not much support. I really only had my head coach, my pitching coach, and there's only so much they could do for me there. But like here, it's like there's a whole team of people that are helping you grow and get better. So that's probably the biggest thing. And then obviously the competition. There's this team and it's full of talented guys from 1 to 40 guys. There's 40 guys in the team. Everyone is very talented. That's probably the I'd say the biggest difference maybe in like division levels. Like you get to D1, like everyone can hit a fastball, like everyone can throw pretty hard, like everyone's pretty good. Like, yeah.
Would you say now, like playing in D1, there's too much pressure for you, or not really?
I mean, I've yet to go out there on the field and actually compete and throw, but I mean, pressure-wise, like I'd say for me at least, it's like no, like the game is the game. From like the times in high school, little league, middle school, like I'm going out there trying to get guys out. Like the pressure in itself, I feel like doesn't change all too much. Like my job's just trying to go out there and do the best. And like I've always said too, like if there's a point where like I'm going out there and like I'm not doing good, I suck, like then that's like the end in a sorts. Like I'm not gonna put any other added pressure to be someone else or try and do something like crazy. Like you got to be you, just stick to you. And so far it's been good. I had success for 2 years at Avery Point, so I'm just looking to see how it plays out here. But I would say obviously there's pressure though, like understanding the situation of a game, but not too much in terms of different levels of baseball. I'd say
this is doing the same like you've always done.
Yeah, it's just a game. Like like it's not the end. Well, it's not the end of the world, like if you do bad. Like I'm not saying that it's acceptable to just go out there and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do bad today, but like it's baseball, it's just a game like that. And that's honestly I'd say this past season was when I had that realization, like I can't live or die by baseball. I'm just gonna go out there, I know how to compete, just play at the highest level I can, and that's what it's gonna be. That's kind of how I see it.
You talked about snacks in the dugout. What's like top 3? Because I was with a team this year for the Cape League. And I think they brought 2 bags of like breads of loaf, like loaf breads, and then peanut butter and jelly. And they'd all eat like 4 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches a game. So like, what's some snacks that you look forward to devouring? Yeah,
I like seeds. Like obviously, like I'm honestly the type of guy, like I'll go throughout the dugout and just be trying different types of seed flavors. Like protein bars, like I definitely like a mix of like protein bars. Those are nice to have. I had to at Avery Point, it's like I'd have to come to the game with all my snacks. I guess that's what's something pretty cool about playing at a higher level. It's just the snacks are like provided for you. But seeds, like different protein bars. Oh, and like cashews. That's what I was missing. I love like just something that doesn't like make you bloat or anything. Like I'm not trying to eat like a whole sandwich before I go out there. Maybe in between a game or something, just to, like refuel. But like I kind of just like to eat light, even in like the morning on the game day. Like I don't. It's weird, but like probably should eat a lot. But like I kind of just like to not have too much in my stomach before I go out there and play. That's just me. I don't know, my preference.
Mm-hmm. Outside of baseball, do you have any hobbies?
I mean, I guess I gotta think a little bit. Yeah, I mean,
Or just like watching baseball.
Yeah, like not sure, like my life doesn't revolve around baseball, but like I enjoy like I guess working out in a sense. Like I do some gymnastic stuff. I enjoy doing that. I think I was talking to you guys before, like the stuff with you guys do with like media and stuff. Like that's something I'm interested in. Like I used to do TikTok a little bit back in like high school, my freshman year, like post baseball videos. It's like that's like a hobby too, just like kind of thinking about one day growing a brand of sorts. But I've kind of put that besides and just focused on actually playing baseball. Mm-hmm. I gotta think of a better hobby, something else I do. I really don't know. I'm very passionate about like psychology. Like I kind of enjoy it. Like that's why I picked it as my major, and like I want to use that to like either get into coaching, and then I'm also minoring in sport business. So like, or maybe even go into like, front office. I'm 10 minutes away from ESPN in Connecticut, so like maybe like do that, work for ESPN or something. But yeah, it's my my hobbies pretty much, I'd say, sort of revolve around baseball. I'll go back and change that. They kind of do in a way.
You got a favorite athlete, like any sport that you look up to, you idolize, think is the GOAT?
Not really. I mean, growing up, I was kind of a bandwagon Cubs fan. So Chris Bryant, I would say, like on my bio online, it says he's my favorite athlete. He's just kind of been cool to watch. I really, as a young kid, enjoyed him. But like I'd say like I like Tom Brady. Like kind of surprisingly, I guess. I'm not a Patriots fan. I honestly did not like when he was on the Patriots. I'm an avid Patriot hater, I guess. But just seeing like his routine and like what he does to like prepare and how he is as a competitor, like it's good stuff. It's no surprise why he won 7 Super Bowls. So I'd say Tom Brady is someone as an athlete that I probably look up to, like things he says and stuff.
It's a really good answer.
Yeah, because
you're a Patriots fan.
I'm a Patriots fan, but
okay,
no, honestly, I mean, Tom Brady has numerous amounts of good quotes. I mean, saying that his biggest hero is his dad. Like I think he's just a guy that you can look at and be like, that's someone who like put in the work, who everyone underlooked and was like, what is this guy? And he stood there and he was like, I'm him.
Yeah. No, and I definitely look up to my parents too, like for sure. The older I've gotten, like I've always said, like I'll give my dad credit here. He was my best baseball coach growing up. But like as a kid, I did not like realize that. We always went back and forth. Like he was always trying to help me out, but I just couldn't understand like what the stuff he was trying to say to me. But the older I've gotten, I definitely appreciate the stuff he's done for me and my mom too.
My brother played like baseball in high school. He was the catcher, and like he would say the same thing too. Like growing up, like our dad was like his best coach too.
Yeah, no, 100%. Nothing against any coach I've had. I've had some great people around me to help me get better as a baseball player for sure. But like my dad definitely has been just my greatest supporter, coach throughout baseball and life.
Being a pitcher, do you look up to like any pitchers?
Yeah, there's different guys I like right now in the league. Like I like Stroman. Some people don't like him. I think the way he pitches kind of like, in a sense, the way I have to pitch. Guys that are crafty. I watch like Greg Maddux. He played back in the day, Hall of Famer. Stroman, Maddux. I like Zach Gallen. He's on the Diamondbacks. He threw the other night. I met him. He's a cool guy. Definitely look up to him.
Stroman had a great, like, I don't know what he did last year, but this year I know he went off.
Yeah, no, I mean he dominated with the Blue Jays. He had like maybe like a down year, but he got paid by the Chicago Cubs, so clearly he's doing something good. Sonny Gray, I just thought of another one. I like Sonny Gray too. Another smaller guy that
Yeah.
Obviously, he throws hard too, but another smaller guy just knows how to get guys out.
He was on the Yankees too.
Yeah,
right?
he did not play well in the
Yeah, no.
Yankees, but you kind of get
But
that
now
with
he's
some
doing
guys in New York. But
We were like talking earlier before the podcast too,
Mhm.
like how I think it's so hard to stay relevant or like stay good for amount of like a long period of years.
yeah,
in
nah,
baseball.
for sure. It's like the guys in baseball, they go they go up and down. That goes for hitters and pitchers, and too, like I was saying, like it depends on like the market you play in. Like honestly, when you think about it right now, like Mike Trout, the best player in baseball, he plays on the West Coast. Like how often do we like think about him? Same with Shohei Ohtani. It's like as good as these guys are in their sport, it's like they're not always recognized in a sense.
It's crazy. Mike Trout, he like never played in a postseason game before, right?
Yeah, I think maybe it was like 2013. I could be wrong. He had like one playoff series. That was it. He has not been back since that.
Yeah.
That's just the game of baseball. Like there's some guy like Barry Bonds, I believe. People say one of the greatest baseball players of all time. He played like in one World Series, never won a World Series. Just the way baseball goes, it's not measured by how many World Series you win. When it should be in a sense too. It's like that's important, but in baseball, it's not quite always.
Yeah, and I know the Angels went like all in too, because they were gonna lose both of them. They thought so. I know they traded for a bunch.
Yeah. That was honestly pretty.
Yeah,
funny.
a couple weeks before the deadline, and then ended up going. They lost like the next 14 or something.
Yeah, that was honestly pretty funny to watch.
I think they released like half the players they traded for too.
Yeah, tough organization, I guess. Like they have the two of the greatest players currently in baseball, and they could not build a successful team around them. Like, how do you not do that? And yeah, they released like everybody when they knew they were done.
That just shows you how hard it is to build like a great team for years. I feel like it's so hard to build like a dynasty in baseball.
No, it's something because I'm also in sport business, so like we talk about that stuff about like running an organization from like both levels, like building the team itself, and then like from like a marketing, that side of stuff, like entertainment's value of sports. But yeah, I mean, like it's like the Orioles this year, one of the best. Like the Braves are down right now. Like some of the best teams in the regular season just are done. They get knocked out. So it's interesting. I try and understand it, but it's hard.
It's like if you have the greatest player of all time, arguably like Mike Trout, and then Shohei Ohtani, like sometimes you don't even make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, and they had like look at like LeBron. Like LeBron's the greatest basketball player of this generation. Every team he's on, they contend. Goes for all the stars in most of their sports, especially the NBA.
Like football too. It's
you got
Tom Brady or something.
Yeah, you got a star quarterback. You have a star guy in the court. That team will most likely make the playoffs. Like the Yankees have Aaron Judge, one of the best players in baseball. They miss. So it's an interesting sport.
Yeah, I mean look at Dallas last year. Like talk about two stars and putting up numbers right now. Like Dallas trades for Kyrie at the trade deadline and they end up missing the playoffs.
Yeah.
Who could have predicted that?
Yeah, no, it happens. Like sports are weird like that. Understanding like how to construct a winning franchise.
Talking about pitchers in the MLB and stuff, do you want to rank the top 10 pitchers?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it. So this week we will have our guest rank top 10 pitchers this MLB season. Welcome back to the show. We will have our guest rank what he thinks are the top 10 pitchers from this season. Let's get into it.
All right, so definitely have good baseball players in front of me here, a group of 10. But I'll just start off first. I mean, none of these guys are bad, but like Carlos Rodon, I mean,
I agree.
He had a pretty rough season. He was hurt, but he's going to have to be 10. That's pretty easy to do.
There was so much hype when the Yankees first got him.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good 2022 season. Actually, a lot of these guys did. I think that's what, coming into the season, these were the top 10. But after this season, some of these guys may not be in the top 10. Still great pitchers. But, yeah, there's a lot of hype. He just did not perform. He got hurt. Who knows? He's got like 5 years left. This is tough. I don't know how you'll feel about this. We're gonna go Max Scherzer.
Wow.
Simply because age. Like he's gonna go in the Hall of Fame. Like some of these guys are not Hall of Fame candidates yet, but if we're talking about right now, he also got hurt this year. Did not have the greatest year, but with all these other guys here, I'm gonna have to go with him at 9.
That's fair. I feel like he was insane like 5 years ago.
Oh yeah. I
With
mean,
age,
he's got at least 1 Cy Young. I know, might be 2. Honestly, not quite sure, but yeah, he's a surefire Hall of Famer. So
he was on the Tigers, right? With
Verlander? He was in the Tigers with Verlander. There's a couple other guys like David Price. He was on that team. They had some good pitching back then. All right, so we got Scherzer at 9. This is honestly like super tough. I'm not gonna lie. Like, we got everyone here is like a Cy Young player. Like, I mean, this one kind of sucks, but because he just pitched really well in the postseason. But Zach Wheeler, another former Met, but I'm gonna put him 7 on this list. Yeah, I mean, he pitched really like it's hard. Like pitching, like you can pitch well in the postseason or not. Like Clayton Kershaw, also Hall of Famer, but I don't know if you guys saw the other night, he got 1 out and gave up 6 runs. Like it's
a whole different game when it gets into the postseason.
Yeah, like you'll have Kershaw's a Hall of Famer, but like he has not always performed well in the playoffs. But so Zach Wheeler, he's kind of in that in between, but he's had a good postseason. But I'm gonna put him for 7 with all these guys. Next, wow, okay, we're just gonna go Corbin Burns. I mean,
Corbin Burns 6.
Yeah, Corbin Burns 6. I mean
7. Yeah, 7.
There's what is that?
10, 9, 8, 7.
Oh, 7. Okay, I got these mixed up. Yeah, he's 7. Corbin Burns will be 7. Yeah, I mean he just won a Cy Young though, so it's like putting him at 7 kind of sucks. But he plays in a small market. I feel like I don't know too much about him.
Yeah, I'd say this year like he didn't live up to his Cy Young.
Yeah, I mean he definitely is a very serviceable MLB pitcher.
Yeah,
but
it's also hard to top a Cy Young.
Yeah, it is, and he still has more years left to kind of like prove himself. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of these other guys left are definitely proven. We'll go Max Fried. Max pitcher for the Braves. I think he has potential to be like kind of the next like best left-handed pitcher in baseball. Like he's honestly unbelievable. He's not quite there yet. Like he has yet to win like a Cy Young. He was hurt this year, but I'm pretty sure he'll be a free agent in a couple of years, so he'll get paid and go somewhere and pitch really well. So I'll put him there. So what, 6? Is that right? 6.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
6. Got that right.
I feel like the Braves have a good starting rotation.
Oh yeah, I mean they're playing tonight. They got Spencer Strider going out there. He's one of the best upcoming guys. I mean, he struck out. I don't know how many guys he struck out. I think he set an Atlanta Braves record for strikeouts in the season. Might have even been an MLB record. I'm not quite sure, but for his like age. But
the Braves are so good too.
Yeah, that's another team. They're very good, but they might, the Phillies might beat them. Like they had a great regular season. They had a bunch of home runs, bunch of great players, pitchers, but it doesn't always work in the postseason. Just teams like the Diamondbacks won 84 games and they just beat the Dodgers.
So unpredictable.
Yeah, it's just unpredictable. All right, so for 5, another Cy Young winner from 2022, Sandy Alcantara. I mean, this guy honestly has insane stuff. I don't know if you guys seen him pitch. Like, he has 100-mile-per-hour fastball and then like a 93-mile-per-hour changeup. Like, that's the type of stuff that we're seeing more in the game. But for him to do that as a starting pitcher rather than just like a closer role, like his stuff is really good. So I like him in the top. He deserves to be in the top 5. I mean, he just got hurt though too. He's having Tommy John. Like a lot of these guys have had injuries throughout their career, but I like him at 5. 4. This gets tough, honestly.
It gets harder the further along
it
goes.
Like some of these guys, like unfortunately Rodon, just get him out of the way. 4. Yeah, we'll go with Shohei.
Ohtani.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing though. To me, Shohei Ohtani is probably the greatest baseball player of all time. Like, I will put him above Babe Ruth, probably Barry Bonds. Like, for him, and that's kind of like a hot take, but like, for him to be able to go out there at the MLB level and pitch at an all-star rate on the mound and then also hit 40 home runs, like, to me, like, if we're, like, as a baseball player itself, like, he's the greatest. Nobody has done that. Like, he will probably I think he will go down as the greatest baseball player of all time. That being said, I mean, there might be some better pitchers than him, like these last 3, but he's the best right now in the game.
I would definitely agree that he's probably the best in the game because before him, people were saying, oh, like, Babe Ruth's the best. He could hit. He could pitch.
Yeah.
But now, like, Ohtani's doing it in, like, today's game.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot more competition.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, like, to kind of veer off this a little quickly, but, you know, obviously, like, guys like Babe Ruth and older players played in a different generation, but it's like, you got to remember they were the best in that generation. Would they be successful now? You know, who knows? I definitely think the game probably is harder now with just the level of talent. Like, that, the game just evolves. Like, those guys are still good for their generation, still all-time greats. But, yeah, I mean, Shohei Ohtani is, to me, it's just unbelievable what he's doing in the sport.
I think it's also, like, changing a lot of people. Like, I feel like this summer I saw a lot of people who were, like, deemed, like, power hitters and could, like, bomb it. And then you go out there and, like, they'd be starting and throw, like, the first 5 innings.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, like, this kid's doing so much out there.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be interesting, too, because he's a free agent to see where he signs. Is, like, kind of like I said before in the podcast, he's really not, like, the face of baseball in a sense for whatever reason. But, like, for him to maybe go to, like, New York, if he were to play for, like, the Mets, somehow the Yankees, like, he would, to me, it's like he'd be elevated more as, like, the face of the game rather than playing for the Los Angeles Angels because they just don't do much over there. Yeah. They just haven't.
If he joins the Yankees, that would be crazy. But that's a whole different story.
Yeah. No, I'd love to see him join the Yankees. It'd be great. Number 3. Wow, this is tough. All right, I got to just pick one.
We got left Cole.
We got Garrett Cole. We have Justin Verlander and Jacob deGrom. We're gonna go. Okay, we're just gonna go Justin Verlander. I mean, this dude. All these guys in the top 3 are honestly like they're. I mean, these guys are all Hall of Famers too. Most of them on this list, but these top 3 are some of just the most proven guys in the game. But yeah, Verlander. Yeah, I'm gonna put him at 3. He's easily a Hall of Famer. He is pitched well in the postseason. He's got what two World Series with the Astros.
I think so.
Yeah.
2 or 3.
I think, yeah, he was on that 2017 team. He got traded then. But, yeah, I think...
The Tigers, too, right?
No, never won with the Tigers. They went to the postseason a couple times,
right.
But they never won. But for, like, these guys, like, I'm kind of in my head, like, I'm considering kind of, like, both their playoff performance and also, too, their regular season and then, you know, how long have they done it for. So that's why I'd put Verlander at 3. Like, he's been one of the best pitchers in baseball for a long period of time. You know, these guys like Max Fried, Corbin Burns, they're not there yet, you know. If they have another 6-7 year stretch, then they'll probably be considered up in that category like Verlander and all these other guys. 2, I was thinking about putting him 1. I'm going to go Garrett Cole. Honestly, I had my questions about him as a star pitcher when the foreign substance, when they cracked down on like pitchers using like pine tar to like increase spin rates, because he was an all-star pitcher on the Pittsburgh Pirates, and then he went to Houston, and like all these different guys in the Houston Astros, all of a sudden like their spin rates went up, they became better pitchers. So it made me question like what he was actually doing to like be the best. But I think we saw in this last season that, you know, Garrett Cole is definitely one of the best pitchers in the game. He's going to win the Cy Young.
Do you think the Astros are cheaters?
Oh my God, 100%. Yeah, they in 2017 they cheated and they stole signs. I just watched like a documentary on it. Like that was a very real thing. Like for a hitter to know like what pitch is coming, like that's just an unfair advantage. There's ways to steal signs like legally, but I mean they just completely cheated. They had a camera zoomed in on catcher's signs and breaking down the sequencing and relaying it to hitters. They're cheaters like that. It's crazy that 2017 World Series does not have an asterisk with it. Like It really, in a sense, it should. Like they cheated the regular season. Who knows what happened in that playoffs and other playoffs beyond that? Like that's, you know, they say that nothing happened, but like who knows? And also too that in that year 2017 there was other teams that cheated too. I think they kind of just MLB let that slip, like with the camera room and the replay room. They kind of like teams are almost just like doing it because they could, and the Astros kind of were the biggest
the best
team
at it.
Yeah, the best at it for sure. But they get their
also,
credit.
like the MVP race, like this is not pitchers at all, but I thought like after Altuve hit that walk-off against Chapman in the playoffs, he was like, don't rip like my jersey off.
Yeah.
And then like he beats Aaron Judge in the MVP too. It's like.
Yeah, no, I mean, Judge could have he got an MVP potentially stolen from him. You know, they say Altuve didn't cheat in 2017. Who really knows? I honestly think he didn't. But yeah, I mean, there's funny conspiracies about the buzzer, if he was wearing a buzzer. Honestly, who really knows? It's entertaining to talk about, though, for sure. And so that will, you know, leave us at number 1. I think, you know, Jacob deGrom, when healthy, is the best pitcher on the planet, without a doubt. I mean, I kind of thought about putting him like outside the top 3 just because he's been hurt so much. But in terms of just stuff, like what he's done when he's healthy, he's unhittable. Like I'd love to see him get healthy and see what he can do in Texas. Even if they had him right now, like that, their team would benefit from that. But yeah, I'd say Jacob deGrom is probably the best pitcher in professional baseball when healthy.
Definitely, I think it's a solid list. I mean,
what do you think? What would you change?
I don't know. It's very good. Like you said, like they're all at a level where it's like you really could swap a few around because you know they've either won a Cy Young or going to in their career. Yeah. Some have been around for a long time. Some are really young and have a lot of potential.
Exactly.
So I think it's a hard list to rank, but I think I definitely agree with you.
I guess I didn't do Max Scherzer justice. Thinking about this now,
I really like how you put Rodon number 10. That was a great pick.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that dude's still professional. He's all-star.
Awesome,
he's still great. But I mean, this past season, you kind of feel bad for the guy. Like, well, not really. He's making a lot of money, but
yeah,
he did not have a great season at all.
I think you ranked him perfectly. Like off of what Will said and what you said, it's like you got the top 3 who are like arguably the best. Like of all time, and then Ohtani number 4. Maybe you could put him top 3.
Yeah, he's a unicorn. He's just special.
And then you got Fried and Burns and like Wheeler, so it makes sense like why they're there.
Yeah, no, that's kind of how it worked out in my head, I guess. Like ranking the guys who've done it, who's been the best for the kind of the longest period of time, you know.
Who would you say is the best pitcher of all time?
Best
like
pitcher,
any period.
yeah, best pitcher of all time. I gotta really think. I might catch some heat for like saying something wrong. Not giving the right answer here.
I would go with
who would you go with?
Whitey Ford.
Yeah, Whitey Ford.
Like Randy Johnson.
I was thinking Randy Johnson. His stuff was pretty electric. You could even say Mariano Rivera. Like we didn't have any closers or relievers on this, but I mean I think he's the only unanimous player to get or have unanimous vote to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. I think Griffey might have gotten it too, but you know, Mariano, when he came in the game in the 9th inning, the game was over. So it's like you could put him up there, greatest pitcher of all time.
I just don't like how Mariano blew that Diamondbacks World
Series. Yeah, that definitely sucks. In 2003, that would have been nice if they won it that year.
Yeah.
But I mean, it happens. It's the game.
Does happen. I mean, especially like all that pressure being a closer too. Like you have to.
Yeah, and
he has the most saves all time, right?
Yep. Yeah, he has the most saves all time. I'm trying to think of someone else, like older generation pitcher, but
what do you think?
you got.
I definitely went to Randy Johnson first. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, honest to God, like Jacob deGrom, like if he were to just stay healthy, like what he's doing is just unbelievable. Like when he has a sub-2 ERA, like when he's healthy, that just does not happen in today's game. You know, I'd say he's probably one of the best all time.
All right. Well, let us know what you guys think in the comments.
Yeah, definitely.
And let's get back and finish the podcast. Welcome back to the show. We're going to finish up this podcast with 2 questions. So, who or what are your inspirations in baseball and in life?
Yeah, so I kind of touched on it before, but my biggest inspirations in life are my parents. You know, they've done so much for me. I kind of want to just strive to be the people that they are, you know, caring, loving. You know, they've gave me and my family just a great opportunity to just grow and do what we want. Like my dad especially, like I'm definitely inspired by him. All the good things he does. Like he coached, like part of me, like I still don't know what I want to do next, but like he was a coach. Like there's part of me that I'm almost inspired to like be a coach because he kind of did that too. But definitely, yeah, I mean, my parents are my biggest inspiration throughout life.
Yeah, you kind of said you're not completely sure what you're going to do, but definitely recovery, getting back on the field. But past that, what do you think is upcoming for you?
Yeah, I wish I like kind of knew in my head, but I'm definitely doing all these things to kind of put me on the right path for like maybe what I want to do. I'd say a dream. Obviously, I want to play baseball for as long as I can, whatever level that may be. But I want to get into coaching. I feel like that's kind of like a dream in a sorts. Like I want to be able to kind of give back knowledge that like I've gained and help other people grow. Because like I'm doing psychology as my major too. It's just like I guess one of my biggest things like in life is like just helping others. Like that's what makes me fulfilled in a way, I guess. It's like I kind of see that through coaching. Like I'd love to be involved in like a front office of like baseball. That'd be sick. Who knows? It could be that. I don't know, but like to me, it's like whatever I choose, I want to be able to like help others. Like that's just kind of like what makes me feel fulfilled. And if that's, I kind of want that to be coaching at really any level, college, professional, could be high school, you know. But yeah.
Well, thank you for joining the show.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me on. This, what you guys are doing is like we talked about before. This is just sick. I think it's really cool that you guys have a platform that helps just, you know, get the athletes out there, go to games, record stuff, highlights. Like that's really cool to have at Iona. So I thank you for letting me be on this podcast and talk about myself and interview me.
No problem. Thank you. And thank you to our listeners who watched this podcast. We will be back next week with a brand new show. This is
Will.
I'm Jordan, signing off.